Sound of Strabane singer-songwriter Jamie Donnelly from her new gospel album, and I'm delighted Jamie joins me in the studio. Jamie, you're very welcome indeed. Welcome down to the studio.
Hi Tommy, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be on the show tonight.
I forgot to put up your microphone. We got you up. Would you believe it? The last time I actually saw you perform, and I don't know if you remember this, it was down in Finner.
Yes,
there was a race
that's right.
meeting and there was a big concert and you were down helping out charity.
Yep.
Come here, I know you've had an album out before, but you've gone into the gospel. Tell me how it all came about, the gospel album.
I always love gospel music. Like when I grew up, that's how I first got introduced to singing. I always was asked to kind of sing songs and, solos at mass at school and stuff like that. So I always loved that kind of the sound of gospel music, especially like singing in like, a chapel. Like the acoustics is always amazing. So like I loved that at the start. But yeah, the title track of this EP that I released, Come Into My Life, it's a song that I wrote with my good friend Jeff Snee, and we wrote it during COVID. So, I think it was kind of relatable of all the things that was going on then, and then I kind of read into more gospel music because the EP, it features songs, When the Roll, what you just played there. Dolly Parton did a good version of that, Reba McEntire, Alan Jackson, so it's like the big country names as well, kind of, they did their take gospel, so that's kind of how I got listening to it more recently. So yeah, that's how it started.
So that was a bit of a change from what you were doing beforehand. And I see you have a great lineup of artists on this, and you feature you have some American guy on it, Mike Cleveland on the fiddle, and he's well known artist.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's played in loads of my tracks. He does fiddle and mandolin. So yeah, I have to say, all the musicians on the EP are just amazing. And I've recorded it with Brian Kerrigan down at Harmony Studios here in Letterkenny, and Brian always does a great job on my music. We have a great partnership, and anything that I kind of present to him, he's always able and fit for it. So no, I'm really thankful for him too, to kind of make my visions come to life. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was talking to a few other artists. Mick Flavin and John Glenn recorded with Brian as well, and he has a great studio and he's got a great sound. I was just saying to Brian when I was talking about the album, it's a very, very American kind of gospel-y sound out of it. That's what I liked about it.
Well, that's it, especially that the third track on it, I Don't Know Who Holds Tomorrow. There's kind of like a bluegrassy feel. So yeah, I think each track, they all kind of touch on gospel, but then they have their own kind of stamp on it, if you know what I mean. So I tried to pick songs that I thought everybody would kind of like, or at least they would like one of them. So that's kind of what I try to do with all my albums. And when I get into the studio, I always think of the audience and what they would like to hear. So hopefully I covered a track for everybody to enjoy.
And come here, was this your first time to go into the songwriting, doing the song you wrote with the lad from?
No, I've actually wrote a few songs. I released my first one with Jeff back in 2019. It was a song called If You Wanna Leave Me, and that featured on my first album. And then I released a single early 2021 called You Make Me So Happy. It was dedicated to his wife, who sadly passed away. And then, yeah, Come Into My Life was the next song we wrote together, but we've wrote loads, but we've only released 3, so.
Come here, tell us, for any of our listeners who wouldn't know your music, when did you start off? I know you had an album out before, maybe 2, I could stand to be corrected in that, but when did you start off in the music? I know recently you were on the last episode of Glory Chair, but tell us how you started off and when you started off.
Well, I've always sang from a young age. I've always been involved in, like the arts. I went to a drama school growing up called Much Ado. I actually work there now as an assistant teacher in drama and singing. But I started, and back in 2016, I started recording. I went to a studio where was it? It was down in Sligo with a producer called Luke Devaney, and I released my first EP back then called Together You and I, and it kind of just featured a range of different songs, easy listening music, some country music, some like pop rocky kind of stuff. So at that stage I was kind of really trying to figure out what lane I wanted to go down. So I released that in 2017, and then since I've released 2 albums, and they've been mostly country based. And then my latest is this EP. So I'm still kind of exploring what route I really like. I love singing, so I try to dabble in a bit of everything. So.
And come here, tell me, how did the Glory Chair come about? I know you were one of David's two on it. How did you find that experience?
Aye, so I would be quite good friends with David, and he asked me would I be interested in about September last year, and I always was like a great fan of the show. I watched every series, so I couldn't really turn it down when I got the opportunity to do so, and it was such a great experience. You know, it was that kind of next level, working with the cameras and the big band and all the lights, and getting to meet like all the contestants as well and all the mentors. It was just a really fun experience.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day and we were talking about TV and what it does for country music. You know, I see a lot of them being up there when they once a year to do this late show, country show, and it's the usual suspects that's up there. But Tina G has done more for the Irish country scene than anybody. You know, like for any new acts, like Lord Cheer has been great. You know, you don't have to win it to get to the exposure. And then to do the Opera Le Daniel, in which for any of the Irish fans, it's great to see RTA do it once a year, and everybody thinks they're great. But Tina G really is the main one for.
Totally, yeah. Well, especially Gloria, you know, like it was that they're really good at giving, you know, more unknown artists or up and coming people that opportunity to get, you know, nationwide viewing, you know, and kind of getting that extra exposure. So I'm really thankful for that opportunity.
And let me tell you, we're going to play the song you co-wrote yourself now. Tell us a little bit more about that. I know you co-wrote it with a lad.
Yes.
You were just saying you're back from Liverpool today, and I was saying, were you at the match? And you said, no, I was just...
Yeah, well, I actually launched the album over there in Southport. That's where Jeff lives. So I did 2 gigs over there at the weekend. They went down really well, thank God. And the reaction from the EP too over there has been really positive and good. So I'm delighted with that. And yeah, Come Into My Life, we wrote it in 2020. And that was really the first gospel song we wrote together. So yeah, I'm really glad with how it turned out.
Well, don't go away. We'll just play it now and see.
Each road I walk is dark. Each path I take brings fear. Guide me on this journey, Lord. Let your spirit be so near. Be my strength when I am weak. Shine your light that I may see. Let there be a new tomorrow, so I can live and follow thee. Come into my life, dear Lord. Make things right when they are wrong. Come into my life, dear Lord. Let me be wise, let me be strong. Come into my life, dear Lord. Let me live in harmony. Come into my life. Take these chains and set me free. Fill my cup with glory. Oh, wash me clean from sin. Bless me with your healing hands. Only you know how it's been. Be my strength when I am weak. Shine your light that I may see. Let and set me free. Come into my life, take these chains and set me free.
That's Jamie and the title track from the album Come Into My Life. Jamie, that's a lovely song, you know. Fair play to you for
Thank you very
co-writing that song. Come here, was it intentional just to have 6 songs on the EP? You didn't think of putting more on it, or was it just...
So I went back and forth. Originally, I did want it to be an EP, and then when I kind of was recording them, I thought, should I extend on this? Should I do more gospel? Should I do fill the other half with pure country and have it country and gospel? But I kind of settled on them 6, and you know, some of them are like really like touching into that country feel, but the other ones are kind of more like gospel-y, you know, church-like sounding. So no, I'm really happy. I think there's like a nice blend on it, so I'm really happy I stuck with the 6.
Yeah, and what I really like about... I love the kind of a bluegrassy theme, you know, like the fiddle and that, in gospel tunes, you know, like just that one there. We're like that. Come here, like tell you now, what have you lined up? What are you doing with yourself? The album isn't out that long. What's the story now? What have you lined up for the future?
So what my next project is, hopefully anyway, is I'm actually a finalist in the Countryland competition, which is for a slot on the Countryland Festival, which is taking place on the 25th of November. So I have to go down on Wednesday morning to compete with the other 5 finalists. So I think it's going to be streamed on Facebook. So if everybody could tune in and give me your vote, I would be very, very grateful. So.
And where is that in?
It is down in Balmoral. So that's where the actual show's going to be. Lisa McHugh and Derek Ryan are all on the lineup, Tiernan Heffernan. And then they're given the opportunity of like a slot to a new kind of upcoming person. So I'm happy I got through the first heat. So now it's down to the final. So they get to pick one person. So that's...
Come here, that'll be great exposure. Now, for anybody who's interested in your album, I just got 1 or 2 text messages saying congratulations, Jamie, beautiful song. For anybody who's interested in getting your EP, how can they go about it? Because you know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I think it's terrible. I love getting a CD into my hand, whereas it's nearly all downloads now. But for anybody who wanted to get a copy, where or when or how?
Well, if you want a hard copy, you can get them off my website, which is www.jamiedonnellymusic.com, and then digitally, then it's available on all streaming platforms, wherever you get your music, so you'll be able to find it there.
Come here, what do you think of the streaming thing anyway? I have to laugh, you know, I used to laugh at the streaming thing. Sometimes you would see somebody has an album out, and before we would get it here at the station, it's number 1 in the iTunes charts in Ireland, and I'd be saying to someone, how can it be number 1? I haven't even heard it, or how does people hear it?
Well, that's the thing, like even my EP, like on the day it was released, it got to number 2 in Ireland, which I was blown away by. But see, the streaming, I went to uni a couple of years ago, graduated in 2022, and I did my dissertation on like the algorithms and streaming and all that crack. But I mean, it has its pros and cons. Like, it's really good to kind of get yourself exposure. You know, people from all over the world can hear you, but then financially and, you know, for somebody independent, it's quite difficult. But I don't know. You know,
it's funny, you know, social media has become a great thing over the last couple of years. Up here at the station now, especially since COVID, we've been learning about social media, and I noticed a lot of artists, like, you know, when you couldn't go out and perform in those years, a lot of people did, you know, the streamed on Facebook and did shows on Facebook. Did you do any of that when during the COVID?
I did actually. I did a few Facebook lives, but it was, you know what, it was great, but it's hard to beat being in a room performing for people and actually seeing their reaction as opposed to reading comments. So that was my take on it. But I mean, it was a great alternative for the situation we were in, I suppose.
Yeah, get you new fans too. But tell me, are you doing many live gigs at the moment?
Well, I'm just, as I say, I'm back from Southport there. I did 2 this weekend to launch the album, and I had just, you know, a private function today. I'm kind of busy doing things like that, and anywhere I get the chance to sing, really, I'll do it. I'll be there. But I chipping away, thank God.
Well, come here. Thanks for popping up tonight. Much appreciated, because I know with being on late, it's very seldom I get any visitors in at all at night time being on the last show, but it's great. Come here, tell us about the last song we're going to play from the EP.
Yeah, so it's the last one on the EP. It's a good lively number, and it's one called I'll Fly Away.
That's great, Jamie. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for having me.
Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away.